Pete Burns, the lead singer of the group Dead or Alive, best known for the 1985 hit You Spin Me Round, has died at the age of 57 after suffering a cardiac arrest. In 2010, we spoke to the gender non-conforming artist about his career.
While we were supposed to chat with him for a full hour, the interview was cut short, and we later learned that he used his appearance on the podcast to sneak away from his handlers to get his face pierced. Here's the brief and wonderfully awkward interview. Rest in peace, Pete Burns.
You wouldn't know that the 1980s was one of the most conservative times in American culture by looking at the famous pop stars of the day. From Madonna to Michael Jackson, sexual androgyny was the look that many musicians took to capture the imagination of the public.
Across the pond, Annie Lennox of the Eurythmics, Boy George from Culture Club, and Pete Burns from Dead or Alive all blurred the lines of sexual expression and often made it onto the tabloids for what seemed at the time an outrageous mainstreaming of drag.
One musician who took the tranny train as far as it could go is musician Pete Burns, best known for his quarrelsome love songs You Spin Me Round Like a Record and Brand New Lover. Since the 1980s, Pete Burns has been in the news not just for his music, but for his extreme plastic surgery and emotional outbursts on reality television.
Today we're talking to Pete Burns over the phone from who knows where. Maybe a piercing parlor where he just got a lot of work done.
Originally, we had scheduled an entire hour for the in-depth interview, but unfortunately, we got only 8 minutes. Enjoy it! I'm Fausto Fernos.
I'm Mark Fillion.
And this is Feast of Fun. Today's show is brought to you by generous support of fabulous listeners like you.
We really can't do the show without your support, so please visit our website, feastoffun.com, and make a donation. Buy a t-shirt.
Your financial support makes all the difference. Thank you.
What's a funny UK beep?
Hello?
Hi, is this Pete Burns?
Yes?
This is Fausto Fernos.
And Mark Fillion from Feast of Fun. How are you today?
Hold on a second. This is who?
Hello?
Yeah, who is this?
Hi, Pete. We had a 1 o'clock interview scheduled with Wayne for the Feast of Fun podcast.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely fine, thank you.
Are you in a comfortable place to talk to us?
Yeah, I'm in a comfortable place.
Okay, well, listen, we are glad to hear you're making fabulous music again. You have a new single, Never Marry an Icon.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
So what inspired you to record this single?
Well, I've done so much reality television, and you put so little of yourself into it. You know, you just get paid at the end of the day, and I wanted some artistic creativity. And obviously, I've been married for 7 years, and I've settled down, and I'm comfortable, and I didn't need to work. But then the creative urge overcame me, and I got the opportunity to make a record. And I've made 3 more records. There'll be an album in December. And I'm also gigging extensively starting in about November.
Will you be touring the U.S. Listeners on Facebook want to know?
I'll do New York, L.A., and San Francisco. I'm not going to go all over Texas and everywhere.
Oh, come on, Texans love you.
I'll go to Texas then.
Well, you're pretty big in Japan.
Yes, still big in Japan. I'm going back there in January.
I'd heard that Michael Jackson, when he toured in Japan, he had to tailor his schedule around yours.
That's an old story, but it's true.
Well, they want it known, so.
Are you going to go to Japan as well?
In January.
Fantastic. I've noticed that a lot of your songs have the common theme of people having a hard time with their relationships.
Yeah, but that was just a fantasy character. I'm having an ideal relationship, so I can't write from that angle anymore. I have a character that I write in, and I think people identify with songs that are about hard times in relationships. The greatest theme of all is love gone wrong.
Do you see any reflection of your own life inside this character, or what is it that attracts you to that character?
It goes on with the stage clothes and the makeup.
But it's something that you keep returning to in your work. I mean, what is it that appeals to you personally about the theme of love gone wrong?
Well, it's a performance, isn't it? It's a chance to step out of yourself and be somebody else at home. I'm just a domesticated housewife who washes dishes and cleans floors and cooks. And, it's a change of character.
I mean, it'd be kind of fun to like have the B-side be like, I'm washing dishes, hey-oh, hey-oh.
No. That's my secret.
So you're in a relationship now because you were married for 28 years to a woman, then you got divorced, and then you were married.
The first man, Michael Simpson is the first man I've ever been with. And we've been together 7 years and married for 2.
That's wonderful, but it always hasn't been that way, right? You said in your divorce in 2008 that gay marriage doesn't work.
Oh, that was just a tantrum.
You said, I view marriage as a sacred institution. I think 2 men naturally are predators. Gay relationships are a commercial break, not the whole movie.
I was talking rubbish. I was in a bad mood. It was a bad day.
So are you still with that guy that you said that about?
Yeah, I'm still with him.
So
we're inseparable.
So it's been. So you broke up with your wife. You got together with this guy, and it's been 7 solid years.
My wife and I were married 28 years, and we just grew apart. She wanted her own life, a single life. We're the best of friends. We see each other every day. She loves Michael, and I met Michael one night in a restaurant and just wanted to be his friend. He's got a 13-year-old daughter. I didn't think he was gay, and he just fell in love with me and moved in with me. And ever since he's worked with me and encouraged me and looked after me, and he's stabilized my life completely.
Because I always feel that when you're fighting with somebody that you're lovers with, it means you care about them. And
yeah. You always hurt the one you're with.
So what is Michael's take on your new single, Never Marry an Icon? Because you're an icon.
He loves it.
Well, I mean, the lyrics here are like, never marry an icon to get famous, never marry an icon because they're a rebel to the core, and they're always wanting more. Is that from his perspective or yours? Characters?
That's my perspective. That's the character.
So who did your character marry?
It's not about marriage. It's just about advice of if you're an ordinary person like Michael was, that it's difficult to marry someone who's been famous and an icon, because Michael will always be treated secondary to me.
Well, that's fantastic. You guys are like managed to have a relationship and to stay together.
We are madly in love. We'll be together forever.
What do you guys like attribute to your ability to get together? Because I think this is a common question that Mark and I get asked a lot. Is for a lot of young people, they want to have that type of intense, intimate relationship, but they don't manage to have it.
I really can't answer that question.
Because
it just works as chemistry.
Well, you don't want to offer any advice on how to get along with your partner while you're still standing in the limelight? Because, you know, you guys had a lot of public disagreements. Yeah, but that was a PR, man. Our disagreements were made public, and that's not fair.
Well, you've certainly done a lot of reality television, and so you've had lots of disagreements out in public in front of everyone. What was the toughest part?
Yeah, but it's not rewarding to do. It's not rewarding to do. Just go along, do your job, and go home. There's no creativity involved.
Well, do you have any regrets about doing like Celebrity Big Brother in UK?
Oh no, not at all. I really enjoyed it. I'd never seen the show before I did it. It was a new experience, and I like new experiences.
Well, I have to tell you, your rant about the gorilla coat was absolutely hysterical.
I have a new one, a black one. Michael bought me.
Oh, really? And now, is this a genuine gorilla? Because the other coat wasn't.
Yeah,
really...
I wore it on Big Brother's last show on Friday. That's on YouTube.
How is that legally possible?
Well, I don't care about the law. The law is an ass.
But I think they
confiscated your other coat, though, didn't they?
If they sell it, it's legal.
Okay. Well, Mark, do you want to share with him your story about Hollywood Lawn?
Oh, yeah, because I was wondering what your affection is for
I love Hollywood Lawn.
She had a famous gorilla coat, but when I took her to task, I said, was it really gorilla? She fessed up and says, no, it wasn't really a gorilla, but it looked like a gorilla coat. So I wondered, is your new gorilla coat, is it a gorilla coat, or does it just kind of look like one?
Okay. So say hi to Holly for me. I'm going to have to cut this short now because I'm just leaving a place.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate
You're welcome. What's your name?
I'm Mark and Fausto.
Well, his name is Mark Felian, and I'm Fausto Furnos. Okay. You were on the Feast of Fun podcast. Is there a time that we can actually continue this? Wayne had you scheduled for...
You call me back in 30 minutes.
Okay, we'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Was it something I said?
It may have been. May have been the gorilla coat.
Who knew that gorilla coats would be such a touchy subject for him?
Well, I guess he must have been having some kind of work done, because if you look in the television or the tabloids, you see pictures of him with all these crazy piercings. Like he got his eyebrows pierced, his lips pierced. And I wonder if that's why in the beginning of the interview he may have been a little like hard to understand because he was getting pierced.
Yeah, I kept hearing that. Maybe I was imagining things, but I could swear I heard a little metal clicking on the phone.
And I have an idea to get him back on the phone, back on the show.
How?
Get a big giant magnet and point it towards the UK, and he'll be like drawn here.
You'll be attracting a lot of people, though.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
that's a lot of metal.
That's a lot of metal in one person,
I
honey.
know.
It's
Check
like...
out the pictures on the website, folks. You'll be like, wow.
But, you know, in defense of Pete Burns, it's not easy being him. And it certainly, you know, we have not walked his extraordinary life.
Sure.
And gone through the public scrutiny of being a bisexually identified artist in the 1980s and taking on a sexually androgynous persona and making a career out of it is something that's really remarkable and deserves a lot of respect, even though you may not like him from his appearance or may not like us from how we interchange or exchange ideas in conversation in this interview. We certainly hold him in the highest esteem and hope that he takes the opportunity to come back on the show.
Absolutely.
Where we can kiss his ass a little bit more.
And for the American audience, it might kind of be like, well, he's just a throwback to the 80s. He's a very popular reality television star in the UK. So, all the people in the UK are like, "Oh, we love Pete Burns."
But you wouldn't know it from this interview.
No.
Well,
and
we didn't get that far. I thought it was interesting is that the people were on the website, especially on Facebook, when we announced that we were interviewing Pete. They were like, "He's gonna eat you alive," and I thought he was as tame as a kitten.
He was he was kind of sweet in that kind of way and demure. And I just, and there's so much misinformation on Wikipedia about him. Curses Wikipedia, because we had literally how many pages? 3 pages of questions. So, and we barely got through any of it.
Well, and to be very fair and clear here, a lot of our talking points were provided to us by Pete Burns' publicist. Yeah. So if you feel like we were misinformed or anything, don't blame the messenger or blame us.
Blame us, I don't care.
We want to hear what you think about this interview, this very brief, very short podcast. Go to our website, feastoffun.com. Search, if you're just listening to it weeks later, just search Pete Burns and you'll find the interview and post a comment because people can follow that and actually get a better sense of who this person is. Do you think that Pete Burns is carrying the trans weight of the world on his shoulders or her shoulders?
Well, now that he's got all those metal put in his face, maybe.
Well, it's like, and we know a lot of people who have a lot of piercings all over their faces.
That's true.
It's not that big of a deal.
I know.
I personally, for me, I wouldn't. It's not something I would have, but. Sometimes it's fun to be a little
I wonder if he can
modern primitive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I enjoyed his stuff in the 80s. And the great thing about that video that he had, You Spin Me Right Round Baby, is that it was...
You spin me round like a record.
That played everywhere all the time on MTV, and it's such a simple video. It's pretty much just him wagging his finger at the camera. But you know what really sells it? Is the eye patch. People were fascinated by that eye patch. And I think that he always is like, people are fascinated by the way I look. And wow, he took it to that extreme, huh?
I thought he had a bad eye. Little did we know after all this time, because he wore that eye patch for a long time.
Really?
I just thought he was a one-eyed, a Cyclops pop star.
It was just a look.
Because as kids, I mean, I'm talking, I was like 12 years old when that song came out, and I was like wagging my finger at my sister, imitating him. We had so much fun. The 1980s, for being such a conservative time period, you had so many lavish and outrageous musicians, and maybe that was a reaction to the political space of the times.
Well, I think Bowie kind of set the stage in the 70s for a certain amount of androgyny, and people certainly picked it up, especially I think a lot of it was an import from the UK. I mean, you had Boy George. I mean, I knew people in school that were wondering, is Boy George really even a boy?
Well, I think his name kind of clued you in on his gender.
I know, but he looked like a girl.
He did.
Especially when he first arrived on the scene. And, we're provincial kids from small towns throughout America. We don't know. We're not involved in that club culture kid in London.
Well, and a lot of the songs, too. I mean, a lot of the synth pop songs were driven by queer artists.
Absolutely.
Mr. No, but Erasure and certainly the Bronx Ski Beat.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some really amazing songs and still sound great today, you know, which is a testament to the power of this music. I mean, think about all that NSYNC and Britney Spears songs that you couldn't even stomach today. And that was just recorded a couple years ago.
So very true.